Where'd he go?
What do you need?
Declaration of the occupation
Of the occupation
of New York City.
of New York City.
This document was
This document was
accepted by
accepted by
the New York General
the New York General
Assembly
Assembly
on September 29th
on September 29th
as we gather
together
together in solidarity
in solidarity
to express the
freedom
of mass injustice.
mass injustice.
We must not lose sight
We must not lose sight
of what brought us together.
of what brought us together.
We rise so
We rise so
all people
all people
who feel
who feel
wronged by the corporate forces
wronged by the corporate forces
of the world
can know
that we are your allies.
that we are your allies.
As one people,
As one people,
united,
united,
we acknowledge the reality
we acknowledge the reality
that the future of the human race
that the future of the human race
requires the cooperation of its members.
requires the cooperation of its members.
That our system
That our system
must protect our rights.
must protect our rights.
And upon cooperation of those systems,
And upon cooperation of those systems,
it is up to the individuals
it is up to the individuals
to protect their own rights
to protect their own rights
and those of their neighbors
and those of their neighbors
that of democratic government derives.
that a democratic government derives.
It's just power
It's just power
from the people.
from the people.
But corporations
But corporations
do not seek
do not seek
consent
consent to
extract wealth
extract wealth
from the people of the earth.
from the people of the earth.
We come to you at a time when corporations
When corporations
which place profit over people, self-interest over justice
over justice
and oppression
over equality
by our government.
by our governments.
We have peaceably assembled here as is our right, and let these facts be known. They have taken our houses. Dirty legal foreclosure. Process. Despite not having the original mortgage. They have taken bailouts from taxpayers with impunity and continue to give executive exorbitant bonuses. They have perpetuated inequality and discrimination in the workplace. Based on age, the color of one's skin, sex, gender identity, sexual orientation. They have poisoned the food supply. Through negligence. And undermine the farming system. Through monopolization. And profited off the torture. Confinement. And cruel torture of countless animals. And actively hide these practices. They have continuously sought to strip employees of their right to negotiate
and safer working conditions.
They have held students hostage.
They have held students hostage
With tens of thousands of dollars.
with tens of thousands of dollars
Of debt on education.
of debt on education,
Which itself is a human right.
which itself is a human right.
They have continuously outsourced.
They have continuously outsourced
Labor. Labor and use that outsourcing
labor and use that outsourcing
as leverage to cut workers' health care
as leverage to cut workers' health care
and pay.
and pay.
They've influenced the courts
They have influenced the courts
to achieve the same rights as people,
to achieve the same rights as people,
with none of the culpability
with none of the culpability
or responsibility.
or responsibility.
They've spent millions of dollars
They've spent millions of dollars
on legal terms
on legal terms
that look for ways to get them out
that look for ways to get them out
of contracts in regards to health insurance.
contracts in regards to health insurance.
They have sold our privacy
They've sold our privacy
as a commodity.
as a commodity.
They have used the military
They have used the military
and police force
and police force
to prevent freedom of the press.
to prevent freedom of the press
And deliberately
deliberately
to recall faulty products,
to recall faulty products,
endangering lives
endangering lives
in the pursuit of profit.
in the pursuit of profit.
They determine economic policy
They determine economic policy
despite the catastrophic failures.
despite the catastrophic failures
Their policies have produced
their policies have produced
and continue to produce.
and continue to produce.
They have donated large sums of money
Donated large sums of monies
to politicians
to politicians
who are responsible. They continue to block alternate forms of energy
They continue to block alternate forms of energy
to keep us dependent on oil.
to keep us dependent on oil.
They continue to block
They continue to block
generic forms of medicine
generic forms of medicine
that could save people's lives
that could save people's lives
or provide relief
or provide relief
in order to protect investments
in order to protect investments
that have already
returned
a substantial profit.
a substantial profit.
They have purposely covered up
They have purposely covered up
oil spills,
oil spills,
accidents, faulty bookkeeping,
faulty bookkeeping,
and inactive ingredients
and inactive
in
ingredients
the pursuit of profit.
in the pursuit of profit.
They purposely keep people
They purposely keep people
misformed,
misinformed and fearful.
misformed, and fearful
Misformed and fearful.
through their control of the media.
Through the control of the media,
They have accepted private contracts
they have accepted private contracts
to murder prisoners,
to murder prisoners,
even when presented with serious doubts
even when presented with serious doubts
about their guilt.
about their guilt.
They have perpetrated colonialism
They have perpetrated colonialism
at home and abroad.
at home and abroad.
They participated in torture,
They participated in torture
murder of innocent civilians overseas.
and murder of innocent civilians overseas.
They continue to create weapons
They continue to create weapons
of mass destruction
of mass destruction
in order to receive government contracts
government contracts
to the people of the world.
to the people of the world.
We, the New York General Assembly,
We, the New York General Assembly,
occupying Wall Street
occupying Wall Street
and Liberty Square,
and Liberty Square,
urge you to assert your power,
urge you to insert your power,
exercise your right
exercise your right
to peaceably
Inform groups.
and the direct democracy.
Direct democracy.
We offer support.
We offer support.
Documentation.
Documentation.
And all the resources at our disposal.
And all